Hey killers, survivors, and devs, and soon to be nerfed hatch. My name is Klim, and welcome to the 4th episode of Community Perk Ideas. If this is your first time here, make sure to watch this from the first episode, because you have the right to know what the community is on about. Because we have the freedom of speech! And if you've been here since the first episode, holy shit man, thank you so much. Let me give you some mad props. Also, follow me on the freshly created Twitter account at @actualklim, because I promise you'll never miss an episode there. And because you'll be able to DM your perks to me. So yeah, Twitter is the other half of YouTube. If you're not there, my dude, you're missing out. And now, let us discuss and draw these community perk ideas because they're fucking good, said Vestora. Good stuff. I also met my perk suggestion I made some time ago. Thanks dude, and yes, give it. Wandering Curse. Destroyed Hex Totems are reapplied to Adult Totem if available. The progress of the destroyed totem is kept. This means Third Seal stays active. Tokens collected in DH or Lullaby are kept. To make it have 3 ranks, probably just make the totem be reapplied after 20, 10, 0 seconds. Ah yeah, the Traveler's Spirit, I get it dude. So when I was designing this perk, I decided to draw the 2 old skulls from the broken totem, and the curse just wanders into the new totem. Hey, you notice, it's the first yellow perk in this series. Why?
Cause it's fucking gnarly!
It's one of the gnarliest perks ever because it's so affected by RNG. You know, sometimes a hex totem spawns on a fucking hill like a goddamn beacon? No problem for Wandering Curse, it just spawns somewhere fucking else. Where? Fuck knows, man. Without Wandering Curse, it just spawns somewhere. It can be well hidden or it can be a spot that Claudette finds in the first 10 fucking seconds. With Wandering Curse, it's guaranteed to spawn in the best hidden spot on the map sooner or later. Against this time waster, you're gonna have to kill all the totems to kill Ruin. But great for survivors because it gives you 2.5 gens worth of Lightbringer. Also, when the curse wanders, let's make it have a cool sound effect. In the end, it's actually balanced because it makes survivors pip easier if they run small game. Oh, just imagine the killer's pain when the last totem is destroyed. Spradic Zoom. Determination. Your bravery encourages others to persevere. Once per match, when you rescue someone from a hook before the entity summon phase, their next hook will not send them to entity summon phase. Instead, they will enter hook phase again with 70, 75, 80% health remaining. A survivor can only be affected by determination once per game. So for this perk, I drew my first idea exactly as it came to mind. Because, you know, just like the first perk, strong emotions when shit just fucking refuses to die. Also, I drew Meg fending off the entity because I want this perk to make it so that she enters a new phase, defends herself, and then she enters the hook phase again, and the killer still gets the 2 points for the new hook phase. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to realize that you'll have to hook the affected survivor 4 fucking times before he dies. Unless the team's like, well, we don't give a shit about pipping, we're just throwing. Countering this, Mori, camping, and good old Hook's Law. Summary, it just gives survivors so many more chances and more time to pip. And really, imagine 4 people running this perk and using it on 4 different survivors when the killer has no Mori. Alright friends, let's check this one. Sleepyhead. Distress. Your fellow survivors become scared in your possible death and work to become faster. Your fellow survivors move 5, 10, 15% faster when you're held by the killer. Oh no, I think a certain demon is gonna appear soon. The numbers before were a tad broken once I thought about the percentages. They used to be 10, 20, 30%. Go away, speed demon, we don't want you. For this perk's oil painting, I thought there are 2 kinds of feelings that can give you wings. The first one is hope, and the second one is and because 15% is a thick increase, it's pretty unnatural, so I thought there must be a demon with super cool wings behind it. That must be, you feel me? That said, this is not fucking Dark Souls, dude. 15%, dude, that only shortens the time before this happens, and this. And this. Alright, let's think about this seriously. When was the last time you tried to body block the hillbilly? Hello. The hillbilly carries at 92% of the survivor's running speed. So for you who's running tier 3 Destress, it feels like he's walking at 80% of your own speed. Here's the deal, even agitation can only do so much. You're still gonna be 6% faster. And personally I think it's a perk that makes lots of sense and it looks fucking cool, but I still feel like movement speed shouldn't be tinkered with, especially when it's stackable with Hope, Sprint Burst, and the Hurt Burst. Alright, now it's time for a very scary perk. Nightmare Grand, Veiled Secrets. Long years in the fog taught you how to keep your dearest secrets veiled and hidden. Tier 1, damage generators don't emerge any sparks for the survivors. Oh no, not my spark, he saw my spark. Tier 2, the Tier 1 effect persists, and as a bonus, survivors will not be able to view the generator's repair progress.
This little fuck saw the repair progress.
Tier 3, Tier 1 and Tier 2 effects persist, and hex totems appear as dull totems for the survivors.
What the fuck suddenly?
Okay, real talk. There's no arguing that the 3 most important things for the killer are gen progress, sparks, and the hex totem. Yo, I'd actually make the sparks tier 3. I hate it when survivors see the spark. As you can see, I expressed my feelings in the perk painting. Dude, you can be that purple flashlight Claudette and get 10 flashlight saves on me, but
Don't you fucking dare stare at those sparks. I'm gonna send you to my city.
let's take a look at the first 2 tiers. People with a few more hours in game will probably be able to tell from the sound how far a gen has progressed. And by just listening to the sound, you'll also be able to tell when it's damaged. Quiz time! If you get the wrong answer, you're gonna get worried. Holy shit, how'd you guess that, dude? And if you didn't, never mind, cause
I'm gonna send you to my city.
well, benefits for the killer would be the killer does see the sparks, so he sees when someone's been on a gen recently because the sparks disappear. But you know, man, the heaviest shit about this perk, people will finally stop camping hex totems. Can't camp a hex if you don't know it's a hex. And if the killer runs Thrill of the Hunt, he'll be able to know when you're working on it. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure it guarantees at least 1 or 2 hooks in a match. But you know, for this one, I don't know when the threshold is between ranks when it stops being effective, because people will obviously get used to it at some point. Wait a minute. It's actually 3 slots, isn't it, if you want a good hex build? Veiled Secrets, Thought, and an actual fucking good hex perk that's not utter shit. However, even if you have small game, it's a trap build. You still don't know if it's a hex totem, so watch out for that. Well, my dudes, we've seen loads of interesting perks today. How'd you like them? I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, because I made it a bit longer since the perks just seem to be getting more interesting with every episode. If you enjoyed, give it a like, subscribe to the channel because you'll never miss out on the videos. Also, follow me on my new fresh Twitterino account at @ActualKlim, because that's the other half of YouTube. And naturally, if you want me to talk about your perk idea, just leave it in the comments or send it to me on Twitter. If you want me to include your name and profile pic, write yes, daddy. And until then, arrivederci. See you next time.